And talking about covert operations, China has launched a new spy mission. It is snooping on the world from space. Now, this is no exaggeration. There is a Chinese satellite in space, a lot of Chinese satellites, but this one can eavesdrop. This is the TJS-3 satellite. It was launched in the year 2018. On paper, this is a communication experiment satellite. But in fact, the satellite is designed to snoop on other satellites. Right now, its target is the US. This is according to a new report. Experts have been tracking the Chinese satellite. They say it's been following a rather strange path. Apparently, it went close to American satellites. It paused and then tried to take a closer look. And which American satellites were targeted? The report names two of them, the USA-233 and the USA-298. Do you know what's common between the two? They're both believed to be military satellites. They're used for communication. And they're operated by the US Space Force. Now, China is tracking them. And it could be targeting Australia too. In fact, Canberra has issued a warning. It says China is increasing its satellite surveillance. Listen to what an Australian official said. I think people just do not realize that every day we are being listened to and surveilled by Chinese satellites that are only 100 to 200 kilometers above our heads. And China is launching hundreds of them a year, and we are seeing more and more of that activity. So Australia wants to arm itself. It wants to acquire what is called soft kill technology. Now, what is soft kill technology? It is technology used to destroy enemy satellites without creating any dangerous debris, hence the name soft kill. Australia also wants to develop more electronic warfare capabilities, something that can disrupt and disable satellites. This technology is not yet commercially available. Australia is looking for an indigenously developed solution. So China now has spies in space too. Is that a first? Certainly not. China has an extensive satellite network. In November 2022, the US released an assessment. It talked about China's satellite fleet, specifically those that can snoop. This fleet has more than 260 satellites, and they have three tasks: intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. This fleet makes the balloons look like the backup option. This is space warfare we're talking about, and China has been at it for a while. Going by one claim, Chinese spy satellites fly over the US every day. They can take pictures, collect radio signals and other data. And the Indo-Pacific could already be a target. So key players in the region are now trying to catch up, like South Korea. South Korea is building its own space program. It now has about 1,000 personnel. In 2021, South Korea launched its first homegrown rocket. In August last year, it launched a mission to the moon. And this was done with America's help. The next goal is to deploy 8 working satellites. Same with Japan. It is working on its space security. This week, Japan tried to test a new rocket. It's called the H-3. Once ready, it will be Japan's flagship vehicle for satellite launches. The rocket is about 200 feet long. It lifted off on Tuesday morning, but there was a malfunction. Japan had to blow up the rocket. This was to ensure that the wreckage does not threaten any property or people. So this particular launch failed, but Tokyo is not giving up.
It will take some time to figure out the cause of this failure or take any measures. And in terms of cost, the burden will also increase. But ultimately, under a normal operational status, which includes considerations of cost, we are still aiming to field an internationally competitive rocket.
The space war is heating up. China poses a threat on every front. For South Korea and Japan, there's an added challenge in Pyongyang. They don't want to depend on American surveillance to keep track of their neighbors. They're working on building their own programs and their own tools of deterrence.